If you can't speak it, you sing it. And if you can't sing it, you dance it. This was a phrase told to me by my musical theater teacher when I used to do theater. She said that when a character in a show has a really strong emotion, they can portray it in 3 ways. The first way is spoken word, in which they simply say how they're feeling. But if the emotion is too strong, then they'll actually break out into song and sing that feeling. But if even that's not strong enough, they'll break out into dance. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, that doesn't apply to me. Every time I get emotional, I'm not going to go out into the street and start dancing a fully choreographed and beautiful dance. But I'm telling you that you do. You just don't realize that's what you're doing. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're fighting with a husband or a wife or a kid, right? And you start by arguing. You're giving your point, you're telling your argument, but then when things start getting heated, you start raising your voice a little bit. Your voice starts fluctuating. And then when everything just seems crazy, you start moving your hands because you're so frustrated you can't even believe what's going on. You start by speaking. You start to sing, and then you dance. In other words, dance is the zenith of emotional expression. It is the only form of expression that encompasses every part of the body, leaving no corner untouched. The challenge of being a dancer is being able to portray the emotion to other people. I am a 4-year member and senior officer of the Valencia Dance Team, and I have had the greatest honor of being able to choreograph many different dances. It's really easy to dance for yourself, but trying to communicate something with words to an audience, without words actually, is a little bit harder. How can dance engage an audience without words? How do dancers do it? I'm going to show you the tactics I use in my own choreography to accomplish exactly that. As you probably are well aware, there are a ton of different dance styles, but I'm going to focus on 2, and starting with my favorite, which is called hip-hop. Hip-hop dance has become widely commercialized and is kind of the dance you see in movies and music videos and on TV. There's a ton of different styles of hip-hop, and even now there's something called lyrical hip-hop, which is like a slower version of it, but I'm going to focus on old-school hip-hop, back taking its root in urban areas. The power of dance was proved when, in these cities, gangs, to avoid violence, would have dance battles to settle disputes. The 3 themes that I found ever present throughout them were self-confidence, brotherhood, and dominance. As an audience member watching a hip-hop dance, these are the 3 messages you normally receive. The question becomes how a person can use just body movement to portray those themes. How many of you have heard of something called body language? You know, the thing that your parents told you there was a difference between saying, "Yes, Mom," and "Yes, Mom." That little action of crossing your arms almost totally cancels out what I'm saying. And it's those little tiny nitpicky details that what make up a dancer's dictionary. Self-confidence can be presented in a few ways: shoulders back, chin up, chest open, standing tall and strong, not hunching over and being scared, but totally taking up your presence, showing that you are confident and you are here and you have no fear at all. This is one that is kind of easier to see because it's something we see every day. When somebody new walks into a room, oftentimes the first thing you notice is their posture and their confidence. Brotherhood or unity is a little bit trickier. But let's say I'm with a big group, and I can show you that we're all together by putting my hands out and showing you this is my squad, this is who I'm with. We can connect arms, we can hold hands, they can touch my shoulder. We can even just get really close in a big group. Those are all ways of showing you that we are together, we are united. We have a brotherhood or sisterhood. I don't discriminate. So dominance is very similar to self-confidence, except at the same time, you're trying to belittle somebody else. The one way to do it is kind of by standing over somebody. By standing over somebody and getting up close and personal, you're almost looking down on them as if you are better than them, as if you have a higher rank or status or anything. You own this place, they are here, they're intruders, then they should leave. Another way you can do it is by standing with your legs shoulders width apart, kind of a boulder-like stance, showing that this is where you belong and you're not going to be moved. A few teammates and I have choreographed a hip-hop dance that I would like to show you. I encourage you to look for these 3 things within this dance and show how we are portraying these emotions through our movement.
don't wanna be that. You ain't in my class, baby, get no grade.
La-di-da-di, I came to party, so baby move your body if you wanna get it started. Around here we don't drink the lager, walk the hardy. Around here we don't wear a money over hardy. From the hardy, have the money, put the guns and everybody says my balls are very solid, so solid. MC Harvey, let me stop it. Make some room, because I boom, boom, shake, shake the room. Yeah, I'm tiny tempering the tune. They all go quiet when I'm entering the room. Shh, stop the beat when out talks. I leave them leaning like how crabs walk.
So, now that you know which moves correspond with which ideas, wasn't it a little bit easier to understand? Did you notice their hands on my shoulders at the beginning, or the way that we would stand up tall and face the camera, kind of like that? Were you entertained a little bit, and more importantly, were you engaged? You probably noticed that a lot of hip-hop moves are based off of body language you see in everyday life. That's actually why it's a lot of audience members' favorite style of dance. The engagement what they have with the movement is more natural, causing them to be more entertained than kind of bored. It takes a lot less effort to understand. The second style, however, I would like to show you if it works. Well, the second style is lyrical, and it's actually the polar opposite. Lyrical is a mix between jazz and ballet, and a lot of dancers will actually tell you that this is their favorite style, because you are able to express the deepest emotions a person can have. Because we don't usually show our deepest emotions in public, it's a little bit harder for audience members to understand. That really easy understanding and seeing the body language that we have in hip-hop that we use in everyday life is not very present here. One of the most incredible things about Lyrical, though, is the freedom of expression and movement. There are so many themes I could talk about, but I'm going to talk about the three that I portrayed in my video I will show you soon of an improv that I did. And that is, or are, frustration, love and heartbreak, and yearning. But this time I'm going to do a little bit backwards. I'm going to let you watch the dance first, and I encourage you to look for the message I'm trying to share. You may not know how I'm doing it, but you probably will be able to understand the actual message. Oh. Well, anyway, that's okay. That dance was actually to a song called All the Things Lost, and it was a lyrical. And I start simply by head down, looking up, holding myself in, pushing out around, kind of keeping really low to myself, up and down. And then it's kind of about, losing a person you've loved. And so I get frustrated, and I start kicking my legs, and I start thrusting everywhere because everything is just becoming so much. So, you didn't get to watch the dance, but from what I can do, I hope you can kind of understand the little bit of emotion that I'm trying to show. So why is lyrical more complicated? The body language is a little bit harder to catch because it is more personal. It is the private emotion, things you do when you're by yourself or with a small group, and therefore it's not second nature to just see and understand. Frustration, though, is the easiest to understand. Although we do it a lot when we're in private, it's kind of sometimes we slip up and we can show it in public. It can kind of be the, scratching of the head and the hands, just the frustrated feeling, the trying to hold yourself together when you're falling apart. And there's love. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking, but, am I really showing love right now? Is this love, or are you just thinking, why does she have her hands on her chest? But that's what's so amazing about lyrical. You can't just do the movement. You have to feel the movement. You have to add the emotion yourself. Just doing this means nothing. I have to show you the love that I have in my heart for you to really understand. Then there's heartbreak. Oh, okay, so it was a broken heart, you broke it. You had to show the love first before you could show the broken heart. And that's the same thing in dance. You can't just go out there and show heartbreak without showing anything else. You have to show the movement of love, and then show that you have empty hands, that you have it all and it's gone now, that you had it and now there's nothing. But to yearn is to want something that is hard or even impossible to obtain. In real life, most people show you yearning by a facial expression, but if you're a dancer on stage, sometimes it's hard to see your face. So in order to do it, you have to do a big movement. So is this yearning? I'm reaching for something, but am I really yearning for it? It kind of looks like I'm reaching for a cup of coffee, which, don't get me wrong, I but I'm not yearning for it, right? In order to really portray this theme, you have to do the same thing I did for love, and you have to add the emotion in the movement. You have to reach so far that you're almost about to fall, that there's not any farther that you can reach and come back empty-handed. That you want something so bad that you'll reach in farther and to get it, but you come back with nothing. It's the same idea as love. The emotion, the movement is nothing. The emotion that you add to the movement is what makes it so special and so powerful. Thinking back to how I kind of did the little dance here, you saw those things, but you just didn't know that's what you were seeing. You were engaged because you could connect, almost empathize with me. The emotion is not visible. You felt, not saw, exactly what I was trying to say. If you can't speak it, you sing it. And if you can't sing it, you dance it. The pinnacle of emotion, engaging an audience without words. That is the power of movement. That is the power of body language. And that is the power of dance. Thank you very much.